Hey everyone, this is Saito and welcome to my TAO guide. This time I'm making the guide a bit earlier compared to when the character will be released, just so you can build her in advance. But anyway, I think you could have pulled for her like 2 times already, so this is also a guide to anyone that got her earlier and now wants to build her. That said, let's get to the video. So TAO is a main DPS that has to stay on the field for a lot of time. That is because she mainly focuses on increasing the damage of her normal attacks by using her skill. When she uses it, she will increase her attack based on her max HP, and also all of her normal attacks will become pyro attacks. Now what's important is that she will increase her attack, not only her base attacks. So that means that also her burst will have some damage increase, so you will also have to use her burst while you are in her skill state, because the damage will be increased. Now the last thing that you have to remember is that when she uses a charge attack on the opponents, they will basically be affected by bleeding, so every 4 seconds they will take some pyro damage. Now the damage is not that great, I mean it is pretty good, but they will take it once every 4 seconds only 2 times, so it's not very reliable. What's important is that she will increase your normal attacks damage. As for the burst, it's a pretty damaging attack that will increase even more if she has less than half of her HP, and she will also gain some HP back based on the amounts of enemies that you hit, but only up to 5 enemies. So as you can see here, the scaling is much higher once she has less than half of her HP, so she should always play with half of her HP. How do you do that? It's very simple. When you use her skill, you will lose a third of your HP. I mean almost, like she loses 30% of her HP. And this may look like a big sacrifice, but it's actually not, because you should play a very tanky TAO, because she gains her damage based on her HP and not of her attack. Now is this the only reason for why she should have less than half of her HP? Definitely not, because this passive is incredibly powerful. You will have your pyro damage bonus increased by a third if you have less than half of your HP. It's just crazy, honestly. Like, it becomes so much stronger once she has less than half of her HP. The other passive is pretty interesting, because once the bleeding status of one of your enemies ends, so after 8 seconds after you applied it, she will increase the crit rate of all of your party members by 12%, but without counting herself. So this is pretty interesting, because I don't see this much often. Like, she's just increasing the damage of your maybe sub DPS or supports, but honestly after 8 seconds she should be out of the field anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Still, at the end of the day, it's still a 12% crit rate bonus, and if I were you, I would not say no to that. And also remember that this skill will also just infuse your normal attacks, so you have to increase both of these to have a lot of damage from it. It's not like Chlorinde, where she doesn't need her normal attacks. This time she really does, so the priority should be the skill over the normal attacks over the burst. Okay, so for the weapons, the best one is by far the Staff of Oma, and yes, of course it is her signature weapon. It's clear that it was made for TAO since its start, because it's just incredibly powerful on her. It increases her HP by 20%, and also it increases your attack based on the amount of HP that you have. Also, this is fucking crazy. Once you have less than half of your HP, the attack buff will be more than doubled. It's actually crazy. And it also has a lot of crit damage as the main stat, so this is an incredibly powerful weapon on her. But if you don't have it, then you can try the good old Dragon's Bane. It's pretty clear what it does. It increases your elemental mastery and also your attack against enemies affected by pyro by 36%. So it is very good, but if you don't have it, which is pretty weird because this is a very easy weapon to get, you can try this one that I didn't even upgrade, which increases your attack by a lot every time you hit your opponents and also increases your crit rate. Lastly, you can try the Ballad of the Fjords, which increases your elemental mastery by 120 when you have 3 or more different types in your team, and it also has crit rate as the main stat. But unfortunately, that weapon is locked behind the battle pass, and something that is very important is that you should never buy the battle pass, because it's a scam. It's terrible. So the Staff of Oma is crazy powerful, but if you don't wanna pull for it, just go get the Dragon's Bane. Okay, so for the artifacts, the best set has always been the Crimson Witch of Flames, and it will most likely always be the same. It's very simple and straightforward, which is why it's very powerful. At 2 pieces you get a 15% pyro damage bonus, and at 4 pieces that damage will be increased by half of it, so I believe it's 22.5%, and it's not 65%, because otherwise that will be insane. It can stack up to 3 times, but TAO is not a character that uses her skill a lot because of its long cooldown, but still you get a huge pyro damage bonus, and all of your reactions with pyro will also get a huge damage increase. However, most of the time you will be using the Vaporize and Melt reaction, which are the ones that get buffed the least. Still, it's a very powerful set and you should always farm for it, but if you don't have have it, then you can try the Shimenawa's Reminiscence, because at 4 pieces, when you use your skill, you will lose 15 points of energy, and the damage of your normals, charge attacks and plunging attacks will be increased by 50%, and it will last for 10 seconds, which is more than enough. However, keep in mind that losing some energy is a huge risk for your rotation, but you also get a huge buff for doing it, so it's up to you honestly. Personally, I have a pretty good set with this stuff, so I think I'm gonna keep it, but Shimenawa is also a great option. But if you don't have this either, then you can try 2 pieces Crimson Witch of Flames and 2 pieces of, for example, the Tenacity of the Millitith, because they increase your HP a little. Remember that Hu Tao prefers HP over attack, so having 2 pieces of Millitith is better than getting 2 pieces of Gladiator. As for the main stat, the sense should be HP and not attack percent. The goblet is always fire damage bonus, and for the circlet, always go for crit. It would be better to get some crit rate also, because if you have the Staff of Oma, she already has a lot of crit damage, but if you don't have it, then crit damage is also very nice. As for the main stats, always go for crit over HP percent over energy regen. Now as for the teams, she's a pretty straightforward character, so she will focus mainly on using Vape or Melt reactions. One of the best teams that I can find is the one that I always use, which is Hu Tao, Yelan, there is Xingqiu, and Zhongli. This is very powerful for a great amount of reasons. The easiest one is that you get a 25% HP bonus when you have this Elemental Resonance, and it's very nice because it increases the damage of Yelan, of Hu Tao, and also of Zhongli. I mean, of Zhongli you will get some more shield, and if you want to, you can put Furina instead of Xingqiu, but I don't have her, so... But otherwise, there is this team, which is pretty good. You can put Albedo or Kiori, and yes, this is another good team. This is another team that deals a lot of damage. It's very powerful for just raw damage, and you also get to apply a lot of vaporize reactions. Also, if you want to make this a bit more free-to-play friendly, you can put Xingqiu instead, and if you want some melt reactions, you can put Rosaria, which is one of the best cryo applicators in the game, and this is already a pretty good team because you still keep all the sub DPS that Albedo can make without ruining the reactions at all, so it's very nice. But you could also try using a Bennett, which is not a great idea because Albedo is very nice, but if you don't have him, it's normal. Bennett gives you not only some buffs, but you also get the Elemental Resonance, which gives you a plus 25% attack, which will also increase the damage of Rosaria, of course. So yes, you have a few choices. There are not many, to be honest. Also because Hu Tao has to rush a lot on the field, so if you don't have a huge shield like Zhongli's, then it's pretty bad. But if you already have Zhongli, then it's way better. Otherwise, I'm not sure how good this is, but you could try putting Layla if you really don't have Zhongli, but I'm not sure how good this is. Also because the Elemental Resonance doesn't do anything if you're playing with 2 cryo in this team. So yes, you should really use Zhongli in this case. Okay, so now we can cover the Constellations. This one is pretty good. It simply says that your charge attacks will not cost stamina if you are using the skill. And this is very nice because spamming charge attacks is like the main focus of our gameplay. And also there is a small trick, which is very small, where you have to jump the moment you start doing the charge attack, so that you can basically cancel the animation and you can do another attack way faster while also dealing the damage. So yes, this is a very nice constellation. And now the second one it's not very good. It increases the damage of the Blood Blossom, which is the bleeding status, by 10% of her HP, which is not that great. And now the Ghost will also apply the bleed status. But yeah, it's pretty bad also because usually you'll be spamming charge attacks, as I said, so the enemies that you hit with the Ghost are also probably gonna be the ones that you hit with the charge attacks. So yes, it is not a good constellation. The fourth one is nice, but is not great. It's very similar to that passive that she has, and it increases the crit rate of all of your party members by 12% again for 15 seconds after you kill an enemy that has been affected by the bleed status. Now, I'm not sure how this works with that passive because I'm not sure if it stacks, but to be honest, the fact that she doesn't get the buff herself is pretty bad. And also, yes, it's pretty mid for a C4. But the last one is very funny. She basically becomes Goku if she's about to die. When she has less than 25% HP or she's about to take a fatal hit, she will not die, and also her resistance will become amazing, like it's insane. A 200% elemental and physical resistance, and now all of her hits are crit hits. It looks so fucking funny that she survives at 1 HP just to become unbeatable, and you can do this every 60 seconds, which is pretty good. So yes, I think this is a pretty good constellation because not only it is made to save you, but also for the huge crit rate buff. So I guess now you could try some weird artifacts like to get full crit damage and no crit rate, and then use the skill to always get below 25%. But yeah, this is a pretty good constellation, but I don't think it's worth getting all of this bullshit just to get it. The first one is very nice, but the other ones are pretty bad. Now, should you pull for her? I am not sure, honestly, because she was an amazing character back then. I got her in the version 2.2 and she was amazing, but with time we are getting way funnier characters and also way stronger ones. And also with Natlan we are getting way more characters that are way funnier. I am not saying that you should look at Chaska's leaks, but they are very nice. Like, she has a cool playstyle. So honestly, if you don't like her design or just don't like her gameplay, you should not pull for her. Like, she's strong, she's also very cute, but there are better choices nowadays. She still has some great damage, but she can be overshadowed. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!